I'm Michelle.
Sitting at the head of the table in my sleek boardroom, I watched as my parents and sister walked in, their faces a mix of confusion and arrogance. My father, Mr. Thompson, was dressed in his fancy business suit, trying to look authoritative. My mother, Mrs. Thompson, clung to her designer purse like it was a life raft, and my sister, Sophia, was still scrolling on her phone, oblivious to the storm that awaited her. They had no idea that the address I'd given them was not some shabby tech repair shop. This was the headquarters of my multi-million-dollar tech company, Novatech. I'd built this empire from the ground up, while they'd been busy ignoring me and spoiling Sophia. As they took their seats, my mother finally asked, "Michelle, what is this place? Whose office is this?" I simply replied, "Mine." Sophia let out a nervous laugh. "Yours? Did you break in? Are you the receptionist?" I repeated, "Sit down." My voice carried the weight of my success and authority. I slid a black folder across the table to my father. "Open it," I said. He hesitated but finally flipped it open. The first page was an eviction notice. "What is this?" he whispered. "A 30-day notice to vacate," I replied. He scoffed. "You can't evict us. I own that house." I calmly explained, "You built it, but you haven't owned it for a while. I'm the one who bought your debt, your mortgage, and your business loans through an anonymous LLC." The silence in the room was deafening as they realized the truth. I continued, showing them an old withdrawal slip from my college trust. "Grandma funded my education for years, but you told me the market wiped it out. It was a forgery, and the money went to Sophia's acting classes." Sophia gasped, "My career?" I stared at her. "You paid for it with my future." My father tried to justify it as an investment in the family, but I was unmoved. I told them that my lawyers had drafted criminal complaints for forgery, wire fraud, and embezzlement. If I filed, they'd go to prison. I offered them a deal. "Sign the family mansion over to me. In return, I'll forgive your debts, and the criminal charges will disappear." They had no choice but to sign. I told them they had 30 days and no furniture or art could be taken. They left the room like defeated ghosts. As I sat there, I let my mind wander back to the beginning. I grew up in a family where my sister Sophia was the center of the universe. My parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, were wealthy socialites who cared more about appearances and Sophia's acting career than about me. When Sophia was 16, they sent her to a prestigious acting school in Paris at a cost of $100,000 a year. They called it an investment in her future stardom. That same year, I asked for a software development course that cost only $800. My mother laughed at me, saying that coding was a dead end and that I should focus on being more like Sophia. On Sophia's 21st birthday, she got a brand new luxury sports car. Meanwhile, I received my father's old, clunky desktop computer. It was slow and constantly overheating, but it became my ticket to freedom. Instead of using it for schoolwork, I spent countless nights teaching myself programming languages like Java and C++. I analyzed my family's behavior patterns, learning how they thought and made decisions. I realized that human behavior, even the toxic kind, followed certain patterns that could be coded. While they were out at fancy parties showing off Sophia, I was in my room building my first predictive model based on my mother's spending habits. It was a revelation. I saw that data never lied, even when people did. I founded Novatech with the goal of proving that I could see things others missed. My algorithm, the Oracle, became a game changer in the field of predictive analytics, all because it was built on the source code of my own pain and trauma. One night, at a big family event for my grandfather's 85th birthday, the chandeliers in the ballroom were blinding. My mother, with a fake smile for the photographers, said to me, "Michelle, dear, could you step out of the frame? You're ruining the picture. Just hold Sophia's handbag." Sophia smirked, and I silently took the handbag and stepped into the shadows. I checked my phone. A notification popped up. Transaction complete. $40 million. I just bought the penthouse in the building next door. They were so busy posing for the cameras, trying to impress the world, that they had no idea I was about to change everything. I walked out of the ballroom with a calmness that surprised even me. I passed by a waiter with a tray of empty glasses and placed Sophia's handbag on it. "A tip," I said, and before he could even react, I was out in the cool night air. I walked the short distance to my new penthouse. The doorman, knowing me well, simply nodded and said, "Good evening, MS. Michelle, welcome home." I stepped into the private elevator, scanned my thumb, and as it ascended, I felt like I was leaving their world behind and entering my own. Once in my penthouse, I looked out at the city. I could see the ballroom where they were still celebrating. I took out my phone and called my lawyer. "It's time," I said. "Execute the call option on their debts." He asked if I was sure, and I replied firmly, "Yes. They'll receive the foreclosure notice by morning." The next morning, my phone was filled with angry voicemails from my mother. "Michelle, you have some explaining to do. You embarrassed us at the party. You're so selfish." Selfish. That was their favorite word to use against me. Sophia had also posted a cryptic message on social media about cutting out toxic family members. My father texted me, demanding that I come to brunch to apologize. I replied professionally, asking them to come to my office instead. They thought they were coming to scold me, but they were walking into a trap. Now, as I sat in the aftermath of their defeat, I knew I'd done the right thing. The family mansion would become the Novatech Foundation, a place to train young girls in technology. I'd turned their neglect into my strength, and I'd finally freed myself from their toxic grasp. I opened the family group chat on my phone and hit delete. I'd built my empire in the shadows, and now I was the one lighting up the sky.